Morning. Welcome to our introductory press conference for our new head football coach, Eric Wagoner. Wanted to take a few minutes and just kind of thank a few folks who were instrumental in the process. First want to thank the search committee who worked tirelessly over the holiday break to screen candidates and then conduct virtual interviews. So Ruben Stevenson, Guy Robertson, and Crystal Redinger all helped with that over the holiday. Also want to thank Lisa Hirsch and Heather Kleen in the Office of Human Resources, who again helped us keep the process moving and staying efficient so that we could stay on track and get our new coach in place. I'm very excited today to bring Coach Wagoner in front of the group. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the search. We conducted a national search, had significant number of very qualified candidates who were very interested in our position. As we began to work through the pool, Wagoner quickly came to the top and has been at the top for throughout the process. So we are extremely excited today to introduce him to you and give you an opportunity to speak with him. So without further ado, I want to bring forth our new head football coach, Eric Wagoner.
Thank you, Troy. I appreciate it very much. And I think I might be more excited than everyone else on this. I sit here and I'm excited to get started and feel extremely honored to be in this position right now as the next head football coach at Frostburg State. Started as a defensive coordinator here 2 years ago, and never in my mind did I think I'd be sitting in this seat today. So it's taken a couple crazy turns, but I've enjoyed every second of it. And when I came out here 2 years ago to interview as a defensive coordinator, fell in love with the area, the campus, and as my time over these last 2 years coaching, just the players now and the team that we've developed here, and all the way from the top down. The administration has been so supportive of the football program, and like I said, I'm just excited to get started, and the backing that I've had from players and other coaches and my family also has been great, and it's just going to be, I feel like, an absolute great fit. Well, I think when a lot of people get into coaching, eventually they want to work their way as high as they can. So being a head football coach has always been something that I've wanted to do. And whether it happens now at 37 or it happened 10 years from now at 47, it was going to be something that, it was going to always be a goal. But being in the program for the last 2 years, it just felt like a natural fit. Got to know the players, obviously working with the defensive side of the football. Became really comfortable with those guys, feel like I have a great rapport with them, and even the offensive side of the guys too, because you deal with them, out at practice, and then we do team stretch together. So just walking through, talking to those guys, I've just, had a great sense of the team and how it's built and what, ideals that we hold and the values that we think are important and the hard work that the guys put in. So it just was one of those things that I felt like was such a good fit to be able to hopefully step in and continue that. Well, first thing is getting on it right now, because we need to get that tied up, and with recruiting still in swing and spring ball picking up and winter conditioning, getting those coaches in here as soon as possible is going to be extremely important. But looking for coaches that fit our team. I'm not wanting to go out and find coaches that are different from what we think this team should be. And this team's always been a very hardworking, in my opinion, blue collar type team. We're going to fill out a staff of guys that work hard, that, have a lot of respect for the players, that have great knowledge of, the game of football, and great recruiters from that standpoint to get them out and build the program for the future. Yeah, I mean, you deal with it every year in football. That's the question you get every spring. How are you going to fill this? How are you going to fill this position? And you're going to go out and recruit. Whether you're recruiting somebody from the high school or they may be a grad transfer from somewhere, it's still the same recruiting process. We need to show the value that we have here for them, that they can come in and they can help us, and there needs to be value from their standpoint, somebody that we think we can come in and compete for a position and compete for playing time. From that standpoint, there's going to be a mix of high school kids that we're recruiting in the class of 22, and there'll be some needs for somebody that may be a little bit more seasoned. Grad transfer with COVID, there's a lot of guys that have 2 years of grad school left, and it kind of is a great fit for everyone when we find that they have the opportunity to finish up grad school, and we're looking for somebody that's got a little bit of college playing experience to fill in some of those holes. And then also still the guys that are on the roster, they get that opportunity to step up and compete too. So like I said, I think it's still going to be that hardworking, that blue collar mentality. We're going to have to hang our hat on some different positions. Last year, we were extremely skilled at the wide receiver position. We got to have some guys step up in that position and find some guys that can step in there. But now we're extremely seasoned in the offensive line, obviously at quarterback also. So the big thing is getting those guys to step up as leaders and continue to, progress our offense where we need to go. I mean, we're still going to line up and run the football. It can snow, it can rain, it can be windy. You don't know what you're getting out here on a Saturday. So if you can't line up and run the football, it's going to be a little bit difficult from that standpoint. And then defense, the big thing last year's we had guys that ran around and just made plays, and it doesn't matter if they were starters or they were backups. Anytime somebody got a chance to get in, they got in and able to create a lot of negative plays, a lot of sacks in football games, a few touchdowns in that aspect. We're going to continue with that. When you're on the defensive side of the football, running around, getting an opportunity to blitz, get the opportunity to make big plays, guys enjoy that. And guys that are playing start and enjoy that, but when guys come in as a backup, they know they have an opportunity to make big plays there too. So I don't see the style changing too much. Well, the first thing we do is talk with the high school coaches. You need to know, are they really a football player? Do they love football? There's sometimes you run into players that love the recruiting aspect of it, and they love to be recruited, but you don't know if they love football or not. So you got to find out if they love football, because when you go from high school to college, and then if you go college to the NFL, every level you have to crank up your love for it, and the time and the commitment and everything. So we're looking for players that love football. Obviously, being a great student athlete is very important from that aspect, because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of that portion of it, you're not going to be able to help us on the football field. But then we're looking for tough football players. Guys that are in the weight room. They play multiple sports. It's not this, well, I play football for a few months and then I'm off. So, we want guys that play football, they wrestle or play basketball in the off season. They do track, they do lacrosse. They're doing a lot of different things from that aspect, because it makes them a better football player, makes them a better teammate at the end of the day. So we're going to go out and find players that fit what we're doing. So tough, run the football on offense, obviously receivers that can stretch the field, somebody dynamic at the quarterback position. And when you go on defense, you got to find guys that can get after the QB. Finding pass rushers is extremely important. Guys in the middle, whether it be backers or interior defensive linemen, who can stop the run and help with that aspect. And then guys on the back end that can cover. You got to have guys that with speed and a toughness out there too. Not just a physical toughness, a mental toughness also. And that's a big part of it. Find guys that are mentally tough, because whether you're on offense or defense, you're going to have negative plays in some aspects, and you got to have people that can bounce back from it and understand that it's just one play and be mentally tough through the duration of a 3-hour game. Yeah, I've had a great number of opportunities to talk with players individually as they've started coming back to class. On Monday, we have our first team meeting tomorrow afternoon, where we're going to sit down and outline the expectations, let them know what the goals are for getting a full staff in place, because that's a lot of their big questions right now. Let them know that this is what I'm looking for in coaches and what we're going to hire and what they can expect. That way we can get started with our offensive defensive installation for spring ball. And then the big one that we got to hit on is strength and conditioning. We start our strength and conditioning program, which is an extremely big part of getting yourself ready for spring ball, but also getting yourself ready for the next season. We have a good deal of younger guys who really need the weight room and that portion of it to put on some size. That way, when they go out next season, they're in the best shape possible from that standpoint. And then obviously Last thing we got to hit on is the academic portion of things. Make sure guys understand where they need to be academically and what they need to do, because at the end of the day, they need to make sure that they're eligible and be able to compete in the fall. And if they don't take care of that portion of it, everything they've done in the spring doesn't matter because they're not eligible. I mean, it's awesome. Like I said in the beginning, it was a dream. I don't know what it means for my career. I guess I can look back at that in like 30 years from now and see what it meant and everything like that. So I'm not looking at it from that standpoint. I look at it as an opportunity to step into a program that has transitioned and had a great deal of success at Division III, has transitioned extremely well and at a high level at Division II, and that we're going to continue to take it at that aspect. I've talked to the guys a lot, especially the last couple of days, guys that stopped in. They made this transition in 19. You know, they were kind of hunting everybody else in the conference, and they got to understand what the success that we've had is, that we're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody anymore, and guys have to be able to come in and be prepared from that aspect. So they got to know that every day, every time we go out there, we're going to get somebody else's best shot, and we have to be able to stop that and make sure that we're putting our best shot out there. Just because of the success that they've had, they've got to be able to take it up a level. There's no maintaining that success. I just appreciate everyone that's come in and been able to help me get to where I'm at. There's so many people, couldn't even start naming all of them, but previous coaches and players, and I had a lot of people that have reached out, and it's great from that standpoint, and just excited for to get to work with the current players, and like I said, get a staff going and really get this community behind us and continue to grow this through the area, because I know what Frostburg University means to this area, and that also Frostburg state football means to the area too. So we're excited to get that going, and like I said, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and just ready to get to work and get some other people here and get them all working too.